last morning sit. We decided to wait out the weather, and it turned out to be the good choice because it's a beautiful open sky this morning. Probably about +10 with no wind whatsoever. And the wind that we do have is, I think, perfectly set up for the spot that we're going to be going and sitting in. It's going to be blowing our scent right away from everything that we're going to try and call. So we're going to hit the trail that we hit last night, move back into the same spot that we were, and set up and start calling again, and see if we can get this guy to actually come in past that 200 yards point, because we had one come to two or three of them come in last night. One straight up to probably 200, 250 yards. One guy sneaked up right behind us, and he was probably 70, 80 yards in the bush somewhere. So we heard one guy bugling just as we rolled up to the spot, basically right down by where we're going. So let's get the boots on the ground and go get in and set up. He's inviting us in. That's why he's chuckling.
Out to the road, down the road. If he's that way, he wants us to come to him, right? Let's go to him.
I love my sunglasses. We're gonna have to come. Oh, good job. God, I love you.
There's a lake that pops open on that side, somewhere around that lake, maybe.
Yeah, because he started, well, I think he started moving up the hill over that way. That's that high feature right there.
So, our road is he, because Swanson Lake's that way, there's a lot of land this way where he's coming from.
Yeah, he's not that far, he wasn't that far. He's probably just up over on the other side of this ridge, I bet you.
Yeah, so if we go to the road, we might be able to get him out there, or find another game trail that'll come in. Because if we keep on moving, he's responding. Like he's moving and we're moving. He called, and that other young bull, he bugled back.
He bugled back from over there.
Since we've been in this part, so.
You know, at one point he was probably like 120 yards away or something like that. He wasn't very far.
Let's keep on moving.
Yeah.
Because sitting still isn't gonna work.
And it's pushing everything right. Like we should just march up this hill through the bush.
Other side of the lake. Go ahead, you got the camera. How's that, buddy?
Life-changing.
Well, we've
Been working.
pretty good for the past.
Oh, I've been here since Friday.
That particular one, I think. The same with the last night, so a couple days on that guy.
Yeah.
We've been working good for the past hour. A little more now.
Yeah, we've been working in this area since 7 o'clock.
8:30 right now.
So at least for an hour and a half. And now we got a good location. Right now, that's a strong bugle. A strong chuckle. Chris is running back to grab the truck, and we're just gonna hike our boots until he comes and grabs us, and we'll just do the last little leg on truck and then get back into the bush. basically he's down on that side of the lake. So we're gonna come up here and try and make our way through the bush onto that side. And as we come around, he might start coming through this way.
So we're right here.
Yeah.
Basically, and this is the way the map is orientated. So when we were that last spot on the south side of the lake, when we knew he was on the other side, you could hear the grunt, right? Like at the end of his call, like woof. This way here, when we were looking at the map, it looks like almost like he's heading in a southwest direction now. So when we first heard him, this morning we were on the 700, and he was almost southwest. We worked around the north side of Swanson Lake, or Meadow, and we heard him directly to the south. And now we've headed over to the west, and now he sounds like he's heading further away from us.
Yeah.
The only thing, he's not going to come towards us to go around the lake. He's going to go away from us between Swanson and Rebecca.
Yeah.
And if we zoom out, that puts us to the oil wells.
Okay.
So if we go down, at least down to the oil wells, we might be able to call him into the direction that he may be going right now.
Okay.
Well, by the look of my face, clearly didn't shoot anything. So, but we had a really good morning. We had 2-3 bulls. I'd say a minimum of 2. We were calling back and forth for 2.5 hours since 7 o'clock, something like that. We chased one guy and got to probably within 100 yards of him. But he was, yeah, he was thick bush, and then when we came out and we popped out, he was on the other side of the lake, or the marsh. But I was just a little disappointed. Came out here been here for what, 4 days now? And today's probably today's the closest we've ever gotten to actually seeing an elk and having a good conversation with one. But for not knowing where the area is and coming in and being a rookie caller, having conversations back and forth between elks, like it's different when you're sitting there practicing your calling on your couch trying to imitate a TV, but when you're in the bush, it's a lot different. And I learned a lot about how to interact with them, because he would locate bugle and then I would bugle back to him. He'd go silent, and then 2-3 minutes later he'd send off a chuckle with a bugle at the end of it, inviting us to come over there, but there was nowhere we could go to get through there. It was just super thick, and the one trail that we were sitting on, set up on this morning, they were 200 yards behind us, something like that. We just didn't get to shoot one, that's all, which isn't all that bad, because you can't shoot them every time, or else it would just be called shooting, but it's called hunting. So we'll take what we learned, assess it, look at the video, go back on it, and come back next year.
Well, we learned, like, one of the key things we learned is when you bugle, it carries for how far? About 200, 250 yards?
If you're in the tight open areas, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't go nearly as far as one would imagine.
What you think, yeah.
And then we've all watched it. We've all watched the guys on TV, on YouTube, where they're calling, and outside of where we are in the mountains, sound projects completely different. You look at the topography and the trees that they're calling through, and the way that the mountains run, and especially wind patterns that are cutting through valleys. The way that we came here, the wind pattern is so crazy, because there's swamps and then high features within the park, and these small little high features you'll have, like, the wind will just like sit in low spots, and you'll literally move like 15-20 meters, and the wind's going to go a completely different direction. And it's the wind, it's the trees, it's everything that's here, and it absolutely does not make it easy Not drawing my bow back once does not bother me one bit. I haven't harvested. I've only harvested one bear. I haven't harvested a deer yet, even with a rifle.
But even with that,
You will this year.
I will. Like we're gonna get it done. But my
Get
point is, it's great to come down here.
Yep.
And actually, we're focusing on elk. We're focusing on him.
Yep.
You can do your bit. I can help out as best as I can, and we can just learn and just get something done, because this is the only way that you're gonna get it.
take what you can from it and learn from it. And
That's why you can't get upset. Like you can't be mad about not.
I was a little down and a little frustrated yesterday coming out of the morning, because we had those 2 chuckles and we had that guy come in close, and we seemed like we were on the right direction, and then they just went quiet and they disappeared and they took off, and I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe that's it for it. And then I was a little disappointed coming around to the spot where we wanted to set up last night. Somebody had already gotten in there and taken it. So again, there's another, oh, okay, our spot's gone. Now what are we gonna do? And we
Found a good spot.
we just drove around and we seen a random trail on the thing, and we're like, well, it wasn't on the map, but it was thrown in, and the gate was closed, and we said, okay, well, let's pick that one. And then as we were walking in, there was a freshly skinned cape there for a week or so, something like that. Yeah. So it's amazing what can happen when you just pick a trail and then go down it and actually just stay on it. Well, we're gonna go pack up and get out of here and say our goodbyes. So hope you all enjoyed the trip. Thanks for coming. See you on the next one.